Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday satsang. We normally take a passage or two out of the Gita, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. Before I do that, I just want to let everyone know I'm just recently coming out of seclusion, that I was out at the ashram for 2 weeks in seclusion, meditating every day. And I just want to encourage everyone else to think about taking some period of your life on a regular basis, once a year or once a month or whatever it is, however many days you can do, and just take that time to be alone with God and to really search for God. There'll be a group of people giving a workshop on how to do this out at the land April 22nd, that weekend. So this is page 275, and this is sloka 626, but we'll go all the way until 630. By the way, my name's Brahmachari Jemal. There's a few people that I haven't met here, so welcome. It's good to be here. So I'll read them all, and then I'll go through them one at a time. 626. Each time the fickle, wavering mind wanders from its course, let him withdraw it and redirect it toward the task of controlling it. And then 627. The yogi who has completely calmed his mind, whose passions, or rajoguna, are at rest, and who is freed from every impurity, such a one truly attains oneness with the Spirit and supreme blessedness. 628. The yogi, freed from imperfection, ceaselessly engaged in divine union, easily attains the state of blissful union with Spirit. And a few more are coupled together here. United to the Supreme Self by the practice of yoga, he beholds his self in all beings, and all beings in that one self. And the final one, he who beholds me everywhere, and who beholds everything in me, never loses sight of me, nor do I lose sight of him. So let's go back to the top here at 626. Each time the fickle mind, or each time the fickle wavering mind wanders from its course, let him withdraw it and redirect it toward the task of controlling it. I chose this for that stanza really alone, that it's so simple to me. Sometimes I read this Gita and there's just so much in it that I just don't understand at all, and there's just seems sometimes so many rules, and we have to do this and follow the yamas and the niyamas and make your meditation like this, that. But when I just read this one shloka, every time the fickle wavering mind, okay, yeah, I've got that kind of mind, every time it wanders from its course, just bring it back. Let him withdraw it and redirect it toward the task of controlling it. And so it makes me feel okay that even in Hang Sa, when the mind wanders, just bring it back, just bring it back. And it helps me to realize that in meditation, that when we are practicing Hang Sa, until we become a master and can completely control our mind quickly, our mind is going to wander. It's okay. But our job is bring it back. Just keep bringing it back. Every time we bring it back, that is a success. And then this shloka also helps me remember that it's not just about Hang Sa. That yes, the more we do Hang Sa, the better we're going to get at it. But this is also about every time our mind wanders in daily life, if we are supposed to be focusing on something and concentrating on it, that if our mind wanders, bring it back to the fact that whatever it is in our daily life that we need to be concentrating on. Also, that as we grow as meditators, as yogis, first step is to even be aware that our mind is wandering. That before we meditate, that we might just drift off into the subconscious mind for many minutes at a time, and oh gosh, yes, I'm supposed to be doing whatever work we're supposed to be doing. But as we practice Hang Sa, then we come out, we learn to bring that awareness into our daily life, and we learn how to control our mind. And it is really important. At some point, we have to say, look, nobody else is going to control my mind, that I myself have to learn how to control this thing, and that we have to learn how to not let negative thoughts come in. And the way to do that really is to gain an awareness of where our consciousness is. That when our consciousness is low in the spine, then our feelings feel heavy, our thoughts are heavy, our thoughts are negative, and when our energy comes up, when our consciousness is up, then we can control the thoughts. And that's really the way to do it, rather than to get into a battle with each thought. It's to learn how to control our energy, which is the missing link between our mind and this physical body. Anyways, let's move on since we don't have that much time. The yogi who has completely calmed his mind, whose passions, or rajoguna, are at rest, and who is freed from every impurity, such a one truly attains oneness with the Spirit and supreme blessedness. So this lets us know that we will get to a place where we have achieved a state where we have completely calmed our mind. But this says, whose passions, or rajoguna, are at rest. And this is something that I've been thinking about very deeply for a long time now. The first question is that we begin to realize that we have all these desires, but the question is, where do these desires come from? And are they mine? And can I really get to a state where all of these desires are completely at rest? I mean, before even that, you look out in this world, it's mainly composed of two types of people. People who are tamasic and just say, leave me alone, let me take a nap, have a little bit of food, take another nap, leave me alone. Or people who are rajasic. And these people have realized, well, being tamasic doesn't really work, that I want to get out there and do something, and I feel better when I'm doing something. And these rajasic people, fine, they're going and going. But all of us here, we've come to realize that, wait a second, neither of these two states is really what I want. There's a song that we're going to play at the end of this. It's Swami Kriyananda singing. And some of the lines in it are, lifetimes have passed, I've called out to you, meaning God, through hope and despair. And that's rajoguna. Even if we don't even believe in God, that there comes times where things are just so wrong and we're just somehow praying. They say there's no atheists in foxholes. They're praying to some higher power, something greater than us, of, oh gosh, I hope that this just will get better. Or even if we have a sense of positivity within ourselves, that we just say, well, I know that it's going to change. Things always change. It'll get better. But lifetimes have passed. I've called out to you through hope, but then it flips, and this is rajoguna. It goes up. We're hoping that, it'll get better, and then, or worse, or whatever, change, and then it goes down, and then, and then we're in despair. And then again, we're wanting, will this change? Will it change? And then here's the next line in that song. Lifetimes have passed. The goals that I sought awaited nowhere. So the rajasic person just, I'm going to do this goal, and once I do this, then I'll be happy. Oh, that didn't work. Well, okay, I'll do this goal, and that didn't work. Well, I'll do this goal. And it's amazing how many lifetimes that can go on, where we just think, maybe this will work. And even as we start refining ourselves, which is the next part in this shloka, that our goals become more refined. Perhaps now, instead of just wanting to help ourselves, we want to help other people. We want to build a temple. We want to teach people how to meditate. Fine, these are good goals. But even at the end, those won't completely satisfy us. That we have to learn to become sattvic. We have to learn ultimately to go beyond all three gunas, but we don't just get there right away. I read something in Man's Eternal Quest 2 nights ago where Master said that he analyzed the state of desire and he thought about it deeply for a long time. And then he decided to take all of the desires that weren't really serving him and just kind of put them over here and just decide, okay, I'm not going to do those desires anymore, and split his life and then say, okay, there are some good desires over here, teaching people how to meditate, ourselves wanting to learn how to go deeper in meditation, etc., that I will do these. And then he said he did those particular set of desires until he could go deep enough into meditation to where an instant all of those desires just like lit on fire in meditation, and he was completely free from them all. So this is the stages that we will all go through. But we realize that Rajoguna, it's not going to work for us, that there's something we have to do better than that. But one more point on this, that if we try to say that, well, I'm just sattvic, all right, then I'll just be sattvic, we'll realize that we get to that state of sattva, but we can't maintain it, and it rapidly turns into tamoguna again, and that we're just sleeping, or that we've just become lazy, that elevating, activating force of Rajoguna, it's necessary for it to be uplifting us and hold us in that state of sattva. It's really that we have to learn what to do and how to use all of these gunas. Another way of what I'm trying to say is that we have to learn how to use our energy correctly. The other part of this shloka is, and whose Rajoguna is at rest, and who is freed from every impurity, such a one attains oneness. So the other day I was talking about bangles, and just how that they can help us, and that somehow we want to keep our bangles clean or search for better gemstones or whatever. And as I was talking about it, I said, but to the person I was talking to, but really we can't perfect ourselves outwardly, that really we have to perfect ourselves inwardly. But then I thought, no, wait. And the true answer is that we have to learn how to do both. That if we don't learn how to refine ourselves outwardly, that we won't get to that point where we can sit in meditation and learn how to do this really fine attunement and purification process on the inside. I assume everyone here has heard of Hercules, the Greek myths that have surrounded this person. In that, he tried to fight this monster. He did fight and won. This monster was called a Hydra, and it was like a serpent-like type of deal. But every time he would cut off one of these heads, 2 more would grow. And Swami Kriyananda says that that's exactly like trying to fix all of our desires outwardly. That we just say, okay, I'm, not going to eat ice cream anymore. But then somehow, well, yeah, I won't, but ice cream sandwiches are okay, and, whatever, kulfi's okay. And somehow it just springs up, and then, okay, so we do this and we do that. And so Swamiji said that lets us know that we can never get it right outwardly. But the deal is, we still have to try. That we have to try to perfect ourselves as much as we can outwardly until we learn how to take our energy inwardly and perfect ourselves there. And Kriya Yoga is the highest tool for this. Kriya Yoga is the most fascinating thing. It does purify our physical bodies, but it also purifies our energy and it purifies our mind. And we have to get to that state where we can learn to use our feelings, to know what it's like to have a higher quality of energy. There's another difference between Rajoguna and Sattva. The beginning stages of Rajoguna, we just think, oh, the more energy I put out, the better human being I am. True, relative to Tamoguna. But as we start becoming more refined in that, we say, wait, it's not just about a quantity of energy, it's also a quality of energy. But that quality of energy, that we have to learn how to feel that within ourselves. There's one more thing that I want to relate. I just was at the dentist today, and in the dentist chair, there was a point where no matter what I want to do with my will to make the situation right, I just have to surrender to this dentist who's doing the work and say, I trust you to do this right, that this is your job, and I pray that this is just going to go correctly, because there's honestly nothing I can really do about that. But in that state of just surrender, my heart was a little bit open, and I could just feel this person's energy. And this was just a very, very good person. I'm bringing this all up because it goes back to that quality of energy, and you will learn to feel other people's energy. And I've never had a discussion with my dentist about meditation or spirituality or anything. The only discussion we've had is about gums and flossing and brushing. But there's some people, in their presence, you just feel, this person is a good person. This person makes me want to be a better person. I want to pray for this person. That's the type of people that we want to be. Master, there's one other place where he said, give me a few young men of the most restless sort, and I guarantee in 5 years I'll make saints out of them. I don't want to get into the whole quote. But one thing he said in there is, I won't preach a single sermon. Just let them practice Kriya Yoga in the way I say for 2 hours every day. And isn't that so beautiful? That we don't, with our lives, really need to be giving sermons to anybody. That the true sermon is who we are, how we speak, how we act. It even goes beyond that. That it is our energy and the type of energy that we radiate, our type of consciousness. That are we really sending out that love, that peace, that joy to all human beings, even the ones who mistreat us the worst? That do we still love them? Do we still see that it's God who's in there? I've already gone over my time. And if we can, let me just say a few more words about a few of these things. That if we can, we will achieve this perfection. But one word in this next shloka is that the yogi will easily attain the state of blissful union. That makes me feel good. That sometimes this just feels like, is this possible? Can I really do this? But if we can withdraw our energy and really start to purify ourselves on the inside with Kriya Yoga, with meditation, then we can easily achieve that state of blissful union with God. And then, united to the Supreme Self, he beholds his self in all beings, and all beings in that one self. And that was the point I was just making a little bit earlier, that we will get to that state where we feel that that's my own self, that this person is just a reflection of my own self. Even if he's mistreating me, that his lower self is deluded, but his higher self, there's only one of us here. And that all I can do is love. Elsewhere in this Gita, Krishna is so funny. In a couple places, he just says, behold my wondrous yoga maya. Look at how wonderful my maya is. And in one of those places that he says that, he says, isn't it fascinating that it seems that I'm not in anybody, that Krishna is like, where is he, where is he? And that so many people say, and where is Krishna? He's not in me, I'm not in him. But the truth of the matter is that he is in all beings, and in all beings are that one self. It's fascinating to contemplate how it seems exactly opposite of what it actually is. But we can read and analyze, only takes us to a certain point. At the end, we have to feel it. We have to begin to feel this oneness. We have to feel our oneness with all souls. We have to feel that love, that just perfect love that is unconditional. And that love unites us with everybody. And that love makes life worth living. One more interesting thing that's just been in my mind. Many people search for, it's just a normal human thing, to have a relationship with another human being, an intimate relationship where that person really knows you, you share special things. Fine, it's a normal thing. But imagine this. Imagine how intimate a relationship it is to have with a living guru who you are consciously inviting into your mind, and you consciously want him to know every single thought that you think throughout the day. That goes back to the beginning of this, of learning how to control our minds. That in the beginning, a relationship like that is quite scary. That you think, oh, this guy knows every thought that I think throughout. What about all these crazy bad things that I think of? A friend of mine in Bangalore, sometimes when he gives lectures, he says, imagine if there was a printer connected to your brain and it just printed out every thought. The first time I heard him say that, oh, God, no, just no, I wouldn't want anybody to see all my thoughts. But then I had to say, wait. First of all, the guru, he's just there to help you. He doesn't care if you think good things or bad things. He doesn't mind your imperfections. He just minds your indifference. That he just wants you to love him. He wants you to invite him into your life. But then other than that, once you have that power, because you're not going to learn how to control your mind with only your own power. Once you have that power from the guru, he will give you the strength to learn how to control your mind. And that, again, is going to come through Kriya Yoga. That even when we sit here, we practice Hong Sa, we're not really going to be able to go in and control our mind until we get to Patanjali's 5th step of Pratyahara, where we really can withdraw the energy, and the energy is controlled. Once the energy is controlled, then the mind is easy. I promise you, it's easy to control. Until then, it's not, but that's okay. We just keep working at it. And the last point that needs to be made is, he who beholds me everywhere and beholds everything in me never loses sight of me, nor do I lose sight of him. Paramahansa Yogananda, he loved that last shloka. He would often repeat it. But another point, the final point that I want to make is, as we grow as human beings, as we say, okay, I want to learn how to control my mind, refine my mind, not let those negative bad guys in there and just take control of the palace and start causing all kinds of havoc, kick those bad guys out and only have the good thoughts in. But even once we get to that state, we begin to realize, wait, what's my favorite thought? What's the best thing to think about that's going to make me feel happy all the time? And when we can say that God is the best thing to think about, when we can hold on to that thought all of the time, then we realize God's always been there, that it wasn't he who ran away from us, It's we who run away from Him, and that we are our own worst enemies, our lower self. But as we become friends with God and become friends with our own higher self, purify ourselves, transform ourselves, we become our own best friend also. And that life, I promise you, life can become so beautiful. It will become so beautiful. It's your destiny to become a liberated master who lives in absolute bliss all the time. And you will get there. You will. But the choice is in your hands, that you can infinitely delay with more and more desires, or you can decide that you want to cultivate that one most important desire of God, God, God. And if you do that, then that will burn up all those little desires, just in the way Paramahansa Yogananda Ji said. So I have to end there since we've run out of time, but I would like to request Bara to play this song. It's just a minute or two. It's probably something you've never heard Swamiji singing. Listen to the words, enjoy it.
I've whispered your name. Through the pains and joys of life, my place stays the same. Tempt me no longer, this world's not for me. I have known all its charms. Fold me now in your arms, make me free. Lifetimes have passed, I've called out to you through hope and despair. Lifetimes I've known the goals that I sought awaited nowhere. Help me remember, there's one goal alone. All I am is yours, all I've done is yours. I'm yours.